Hi, and welcome to Storytime with Jocelyn. Today's Storytime is a very special tribute to Selena Quintanilla Perez, who would have been 51 years old this past April 16th on Saturday. We're going to do a special tribute to her. I'm wearing her jacket, but Bitty Bitty Bom Bom. Her picture is on the back, and all her #1 hits are all over my clothes. And Jocelyn has brought to the video her pop from her last concert, which I was able to attend in 1995 at the Astrodome. So today we're going to read her story in a little tiny children's kind of version. Sing with me, The Story of Selena Quintanilla. And it is by Diana López and illustrated by Teresa Martinez. So let us begin. Selena Quintanilla rolled a tortilla and lifted it into her mouth, only to use it as a microphone. She turned everything into a microphone: spoons, crayons, toothbrushes. But instead of scolding her, her parents hummed along while her brother and sister tapped their feet. The Quintanillas were always together, siempre juntos, and they were always united by music. I'm trying my Spanish, so forgive me. One day, her father announced, "We should start a band." Selena jumped up and down. What a great idea! Right, Jocelyn? Selena and her family began rehearsing their favorite pop, rock, and country songs at their home in Lake Jackson, Texas. Selena sang while her brother A.B. plucked a bass guitar and her sister Suzette tapped the drums. When Selena was 9, her father set up a stage in Papagayos, their family restaurant. Papa Bacado hung from the ceiling like confetti, and the scent of caldo and charro beans filled the air. No one could miss the giant banner with the band's new name, Selena y los Dinos. My dad was in a mariachi band, so I grew up with some Spanish music and some Spanish words. So I'm trying my best to say them. It's been a while, so forgive me if I'm saying them kind of funny. But this is for Selena and her family. At first, Selena felt nervous about singing for strangers. But as soon as she stepped on stage, Jocelyn, she realized music quickly turned strangers into friends. When she sang Feliz Cumpleaños to customers celebrating their birthdays, she said, "Sing with me." The waiters and the cooks and the customers joined her, their voices united by song. Whether the restaurant was almost empty or so full that people had to wait for seats, Selena always sang her best. Then the recession of the early 1980s hit, and no one had money to eat at Papagayos. Soon, the Quintanillas lost their restaurant and their home. Selena was 10 when they drove 3 hours south to Corpus Christi, where they would stay with relatives until they could support themselves again. Jocelyn? What will this new city be like? Selena wondered. She opened the window, tasting the salty air from the Gulf of Mexico. As they crossed the harbor bridge, Selena began to sing. A.B. and Suzette didn't have their instruments, but they clapped out rhythms. Then their mother let loose a most glorious corretto, and their father cheered, "Ole!" Off to Corpus. They used their last dollars to buy a bus, which they named Big Bertha, and drove to Houston, Laredo, McAllen, Favarias, Del Rio, and Fiera to perform. They sang at weddings, quinceañeras, rodeos, and sometimes for as little as $100. Times were tough, but at least they were together. Siempre juntos. While they traveled through Texas, the audience made requests. Selena loved to sing their favorites, but when they asked for Tiano songs, she found herself apologizing because she couldn't speak Spanish. Why didn't you teach me? Selena asked her parents. They were quiet for a moment, and then her father said, when we were growing up, we got punished if we spoke Spanish in school. That's why we taught you only English. At the time, it was the language of schooling and success. Selena understood that her parents thought that they were helping her. But she really wanted this connection with her audience, Jocelyn. I'm going to learn Spanish, she decided, so more people can sing along. I sing along. May not be perfect, but I do. At first, Selena learned the songs phonetically, sounding out the words. Roll your R's and remember that the H is silent. She kept reminding herself. After she learned a few songs in Spanish, her family booked a gig at a Tejano music festival. Selena loved the other musicians, bolo ties and cowboy hats and western boots. She was so excited to join them, but even though she said, hola, with a silent H, they waved her off. No room for girls in the Tejano music world, they said. For a tiny moment, Selena wanted to give up, but then she heard the music and the footbeats of the dancing couples. It's up to me, she realized. I have to make room. The main stage for the popular bands, so she went to the side stage to perform. She put her heart and soul into each Tejano song, even when she didn't understand all the Spanish words she was saying. When she finished, she said, muchas gracias, and the audience cheered. At 12, she recorded her first song, Si Acabo Aquel Amor. In a room by herself, Selena missed the company of a band and audience. How could she sing without people to dance and hum along? She closed her eyes, tried to put feeling into music. She repeated the Spanish punctuations to herself and focused on the song's meaning. But singing in a studio wasn't much different than in front of a live audience. Then she remembered all the mothers, fathers, and brothers and sisters and abuelitos who went to her concerts. She wasn't singing for the producers behind the window. She was singing for families and friends. Canta conmigo, she silently repeated, imagining the day when they'd all hear her recording and sing along. Soon, Selena recorded more songs, many written by A.B., who mixed rock, country, and pop for their unique Tejano sound. Suzette kept playing the drums, and between gigs, she and Selena studied fashion magazines, designing new clothes, and trying different hairstyles. Selena didn't buy her stage outfits. She made them with her mother's and sister's help. Meanwhile, Big Bertha took them to stages around the U.S. and Mexico. Crowds of 20 turned to crowds of hundreds. On the road, Selena kept studying Spanish, the words like secret codes she unlocked one by one. Most of the time, she still thought in English, but sometimes the Spanish words came first. In 1986, when Selena was only 15 years old, she won a Tejano Music Award. She won the award again in 1987, then the next year and the next. Every time she accepted a trophy, she remembered all the people she had met through her music and her family, the Quintanillas, who were always by her side. She kept recording, performing, and sewing. She opened a fashion boutique to sell her clothes. She fell in love and got married. Shout out to Chris. On February 26, 1995, I was there. At the Astrodome in Houston, Selena circled the arena on a horse-drawn carriage. She wore her own purple pantsuit that she designed. And she waved to the crowd. She thought of her performances at the family dining table, at Papagayos, at the dance halls and rodeos. How different from the Astrodome, and yet how much the same. Jocelyn, being a special needs 22-year-old little girl, loves to listen to Selena's music. It makes you think that even though there are people out there that don't understand Spanish, Jocelyn doesn't understand a lot of English, but she still loves the music. Selena has left a legacy that we will forever remember. And even special needs enjoy her music. Her fans cheered when she hopped on the stage. More than 60,000 had gotten tickets to the show. Biddy biddy bum bum, Selena sang. Then she held the mic to the crowd. Biddy biddy bum bum. They repeated, thousands of families and friends, their heartbeats, their voices united in her song. That concert ended many years ago, but her fans are still singing. Every time they hear her voice, they also hear her joyfully shouting, "Canta conmigo," sing with me. Biddy biddy bum bum. Mm-hmm. And that is the story of Selena Quintanilla Perez. I hope you enjoyed that story. It wasn't a story, it was a true story. And I just like to say, like I had said, we still love Selena's music today. And I hope you enjoyed this story, even if you don't know who Selena is. It's a beautiful story. Listen to her music, even if you may not know Spanish. It's still beautiful to listen to. Have a blessed day, and we will see you next week for another giraffe story to end the month of April. Bye-bye, and happy birthday, Selena.